I speak to hundreds of clinic owners every single week, maybe month, and one of the biggest misconceptions across the board is that Facebook and Instagram ads don't work. Now, if you're a clinic owner and you've tried to run ads in the past, if they haven't worked, there will be a reason for that. A lot of the time it's because you're not using the right creatives. Sometimes people actually confuse boosting posts with running ads because they're not the same thing. But a lot of the time, one of the biggest problems is they manage to get leads through the ads. However, the leads are just unqualified. They're usually not interested. Sometimes you'll call them and they don't even know who you are. There is a reason for that. So a lot of people, when they're running ads, purely focus the results and determine whether an ad is successful or not by the lead cost. And lead cost is obviously important because if it's costing you more to acquire a client than what an average client pays you, then you're going to be losing money. But lead cost shouldn't be the determining factor, because we have clinics that are running ads with £2 per lead, getting hundreds of leads per month, but converting very low rates. They're still making profit, but they're spending a lot of time dealing with leads that are unqualified, people that aren't actually interested, people that maybe haven't heard of them before. Now, when you're running ads and you're looking at higher lead costs, it usually means that the leads are actually more qualified and you're going to convert more of them. Another example would be a laser hair removal clinic that we're working with. We last month averaged around £12 per lead. We had a much higher conversion rate, and with a £1,000 ad spend, we managed to convert over £10,000 in revenue. So you can see the difference. Sometimes you're going to look at lead costs, it's going to seem like the leads are costing you too much, but if they're actually qualified leads, then that shouldn't matter. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to actually run through the process of setting up a laser hair removal lead form to show you exactly how I would set one up for a client in a way that we're actually going to attract the right type of clients. This is going to be quite a complex lead form, which means that some people are going to click on the ad, they're going to look at the lead form and they're not going to fill it out. But that's good, because you don't want people that haven't got the time and energy to put into their treatment or into any concern that they've got, because it means they're not actually going to be bothered about coming for a treatment. They're going to inquire, they're going to ask about pricing, they're probably going to ask other clinics about pricing, and at the end of the day, they'll just go to whoever's cheapest and they're not really going to care about the actual service they get. So I'm going to share my screen now and I'll show you how we do it. Right, so I am now live in my own ad account and I'm going to set up a lead form just to show you how this would actually work. By the way, if you haven't run ads before and this stuff looks alien to you, drop a comment below. I'd be happy to record another video that explains how we actually set up an ad and how we set up the captions and all stuff like that, just so you can get an idea of how things like this work. So what I'll do is I'll go and create a brand new lead form and I'll show you exactly how I would do it. So first thing you want to do, come into settings and change this sharing setting from restricted to open. What this basically means is if someone sees your ad and they think, oh, this would be good for a friend who is struggling with blah, 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 they can send it to their friend and their friend will be able to open the form. If it's on restricted, when they send it to their friend won't be able to open the form and they won't be able to inquire on your ad because it's not being advertised directly to them. So what I would first of all do is change this to higher intent. This means that they can't just auto-fill the form, which means you're not going to get leads that don't know who you are. When you add the higher intent step, what basically happens is once they've put their information in, they've got a slide to submit the form, which means they need to actually review the information that they put in. If that's not there, what generally happens is people, like when you're on your phone, Facebook, you click on an ad, what would happen is the name, number, email will just pre-fill based on details that you've already got. And I think if it's just on more volume, sometimes Facebook actually just submits the form for them, which is why you get a lot of unqualified leads doing that. Obviously, like I said before, the lead cost will be higher with this. However, the leads will actually have a higher intent and these leads are actually going to be people that you want in your clinic. So we move on to intro. I usually leave both of these off just for the fact that if you have an intro explaining what it is, it's probably going to be repeating exactly what they've seen in the ad anyway. And another point on that is that if they're watching a story and it shows your ad and then it goes to the next part of the story, like the next slide, if it's got an intro, it has like all of the information there. If it goes straight into the lead form, it will just come back to the first question straight away. So that the first question is usually an engaging question, which I'll show you now. So what we would basically do is we'd try and pique their interest by asking questions that, first of all, just get a little bit of thinking going in their brain, because we want them to think, okay, actually, this is what I'm doing, this is why I don't like doing it, and this is why this ad that I've seen is a good solution for me. The example I'm going to use is for a laser hair removal clinic. However, you can use this for any treatment. You can use this for any business, to be honest, but I'll show you with laser hair removal. If you have a body sculpting clinic, we work with a lot of body sculpting clinics as well. So if you struggle with the questions, pop me a message on Instagram and I'll be able to help you with the sort of questions you want to be asking. But you should get the idea when I show you. So the first question is usually multiple choice. And with laser hair removal, what we would first ask is something like, which of the following hair removal methods do you use the most? So what we want to do is we want to get them to start thinking. So here we'll give them options for shaving, waxing, plucking, creams or lotions, and then we can have other. To be honest, from my experience, most people either shave or wax. You do get a few people down here, most people are the top two. And then the next thing that we want to do is we want to move on. We want to make another question now that sort of builds a little bit of desire. So for example, with this one, what we would probably want to ask is something like, what is the biggest frustration with your current hair removal method? So we've asked them how they're currently removing hair from their body. We're now going to ask them what the biggest frustration is with that current hair removal method, because we want to build up a bit of desire. We want to reinforce that they don't want to be doing that anymore. So if they click shaving and then it comes here to ask them what's your biggest frustration, we give them ideas to think, actually, you know what? Yeah, shaving is expensive over time, or shaving causes itches, or it causes rashes. So here we could put it's too time consuming. Next we can put it's too expensive. Another one could be, what did I say? It causes skin irritation. I get ingrown hairs. That's another one that comes up a lot. Or we could have results don't last long enough. So now they've answered the question about what they're currently doing for hair removal, and then they're going to see this and they're going to think, actually, yeah, you know what, it is time. But they could probably think a few of these. It's time consuming having to shave every few days. It's expensive having to keep buying razors and shaving foam. It does cause irritation. I do get ingrown hairs, and maybe the results don't last long enough. So hopefully they'll look at it and all of these things will appeal to them, and then there'll be a thing of like, oh shit, yeah, actually I do need this treatment. So the next thing we want to ask is something to kind of get a bit of an indication as to how ready they are. So what we would ask is, how soon are you looking to start your laser hair removal journey? And this is going to give us an indication of how serious the leads are when they come in. Because what the first one we'll have is immediately, almost ready, I have questions first. Could also add like I'm just shopping around, but I don't usually like giving people that option just because, yeah, it could give them a reason to make an excuse. But yeah, now we've asked these three questions, what we're now going to see is it would now come through to the part where it asks the questions about who they are, right? We're going to add some additional steps, but I just want to quickly do this. So what I usually do is I do full name, phone number, email, and depending on how you're going to contact them, you can change this stuff. But the next sort of questions I want to ask, these are questions where they physically have to type something in. So they're not just clicking on different options. We're now actually asking questions where they have to answer themselves. So the qualifying questions that we usually use for laser hair removal would be things like, what areas are you thinking of having treated? Next one, what colour is the hair in that area? Because like I said at the start, someone could go through all of this, you ask them all of these qualifying questions, and then it turns out that they've got blonde hair or white hair, and the laser doesn't work for that. So it's best to know this before you then start contacting them, because straight away you can say, oh, I'm really sorry, but with blonde hair it doesn't work. We would then need to ask, do you have any health conditions that may prevent you from having this treatment? And then we could ask the same thing but about medication. Do you take any medication. And obviously wouldn't say just to solely rely on these answers, because you'd want to ask them when you're actually speaking to them as well. But yeah, it's important that we do qualify them as much as possible, because we don't want to waste time on leads that are unqualified and are never going to come in anyway. And then sometimes what I would like to do here is add some scarcity. So they've taken their time to fill out 7 questions so far. They're obviously interested in the treatment. Now you want to add a little bit of scarcity and make them think, oh shit, you know what, when they contact me, I better book this quickly because there's only a few spaces left. If it's an offer, I'd usually say, look, we've only got a few spaces left. If applicable, how soon are you ready to start? So yeah, we could say we only have 3 spaces left in this offer. If applicable, how soon are you ready to book your patch test? Because then, like, you're getting people to give you a bit of a pre-commitment. They're going to say, oh, I'm ready to book next week, or I'm ready to book straight away, as long as it actually works for me and as long as this treatment is good for me. So yeah, now the lead form is a lot more complex. We're asking, what are you currently doing for hair removal? What's the biggest frustration with that method? We're asking, how soon are you looking to start your laser hair removal journey? We've asked this question twice, by the way, which is good, because we're really stamping down the authority that they need to do this soon. We're going to ask what areas they're thinking of. We're going to ask what colour is the hair in that area. We're going to ask if they've got any health conditions, any medication that they're taking, and then we're going to reinforce that there's only 3 spaces left. How soon would you be ready to book your patch test? Then they're going to put their name, number and email in. They're going to submit the form. They're going to have to swipe to submit, so they have to review their information. And then on here, we're literally just going to say, look, you can visit our website or you can visit our Instagram, but we're going to be in contact soon. Now, I don't know if the video will come out before or after this one, but I've also made a video showing how we use Go High Level to automate the outreach side of things when leads come in, because it is really important that when someone fills out a form, you contact them as soon as possible. If you've ever seen my ads, and hopefully you have, because yeah, we're running ads to people like yourselves, but if you've ever seen my ads and you've submitted a form, you will get a text message within 2 minutes. Obviously at the right times of day, not at like 3 o'clock in the morning and stuff, but we use automations. We want to make sure that we're contacting them as quickly as possible while they're still hot leads, they're still thinking about what they've just signed up for. So if you want to find out how to use a CRM system to make the most of the leads that you're getting from your ads, how to automate things on that side, check on the same channel as this. I don't know, like I say, if I'm going to post it before or after this, probably before, and then you'll be able to work out, look, this is how we use a CRM system. There's a snapshot in there as well, so it's a free snapshot. I'll give you a link to basically use Go High Level. You can have a free trial. You can use a snapshot that we actually use for the clinics that we work with, and that will basically allow you to have all of the automations that we have. It will have the pipelines that we use to track all of the leads and stuff like that. Some really useful stuff in there, so go and check that out as well. If you found this video valuable, let me know in the comments. If you can, please like, subscribe. It really does obviously help me to understand that this is reaching the right people and that it's actually helping people. The whole goal of this is to help people. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but yeah, hopefully this gives you confidence that Facebook and Instagram ads will work. You just need to use the right lead forms. You need to qualify people properly. Obviously, you need to have the right content as well. You can't just run ads to shit content and expect to see really good results. But some people have got really good content and they just tried running ads, it just doesn't work. And this is probably the main reason why they're not qualifying the leads before they come in. And then it just feels like a ball ache speaking to hundreds of leads that are not qualified. So yeah, like I said, if you like this video, like the video, subscribe if you found it useful, and I will speak to you guys soon.